Welcome to the podcast Barrel Full of Daryl. My name is Daryl and I'm your host. In this podcast, and I mean the royal we, selectively discuss music, movies, and provide a bit of mirth. Regarding the music selection, I select an artist or band that is personally significant to me. You may not be familiar with my selection, but my intent is to change that. As for the movies, they are more universal and you may likely know them. A bit of mirth is thrown in occasionally. Let me also state that my taste in music is eclectic. So anything ranging from hard rock to country and folk music. On that note, let's talk about our music for the day. The band that I want to talk about is The Cars. My daughter had asked me to feature The Cars because they are so underrated. I replied to her that in the late 70s and early 80s they were the shit. So this discussion is dedicated to my daughter Megan. The Cars formed in Boston in 1976, emerging from the new wave scene. They consisted of Rick Ocasek on rhythm guitar, Benjamin Orr on bass, Elliot Easton on lead guitar, Greg Hawkes keyboards, and David Robinson drums. Rick Ocasek was the leader and principal songwriter with a distinctive, crisp voice that fit the music perfectly. I'll add that his voice can be at times haunting, and it's great. Their music was guitar-based, but also heavy on the synthesizer, just enough to put some magic in the songs. Unlike another band named Flock of Seagulls, they were all synthesizers. I'm not sure any members of that band had ever picked up a guitar, but they were a one-hit wonder, so okay. So the Cars exploded onto the pop scene in 1978, releasing their eponymous album that contained 4 hits: Let the Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, You've Got All I Needed Tonight, and You're Just What I Needed. Another one of my favorite songs on this album is Moving in Stereo, which was included on the soundtrack for the Fast Times at Ridgemont High movie. At the release of this album, I was serving in the U.S. Air Force, and their songs were constantly on the radio in our shop. The Cars were named Best New Artist by the Rolling Stone that year. In 1979, they released their second album, Candy-O, which eclipsed the ratings of their first. The album cover art was created by Alberto Vargas, the famous artist for Playboy magazine, and I'll say it is quite lovely. The opening song is my favorite by The Cars, Let's Go, and it was a huge hit. Other hits include It's All I Can Do and Candy-O. Their third album, Panorama, released in 1980, was not as successful as the previous two and had only one hit, Touch and Go. It's a good song with a bit of a country flavor to it, if you can believe that. The album did sell well, but received mostly meh reviews. 1 year later, they released the album Shake It Up. This one was more successful commercially and critically, with 2 hits, Shake It Up and Since You're Gone. At this point, the band took a 2-year break during which Rick Ocasek and Ethan Hawke released solo albums. They reunited in 1984 and released the album Heartbreak City, spawning 5 hits. The music video for the song, You Might Think, won them the first ever MTV Video of the Year award. The song Drive was their most successful single. 1985 saw the release of their greatest hits album, which in fact does contain their greatest hits. It's a great album and well covers their career. They released one more album in 1978 titled Door to Door and went on yet another hiatus. In 2000, the bass player Benjamin Orr died of pancreatic cancer. In 2011, the remaining members reunited and recorded the album Move Like This, which did pretty well, and they had a 10-city tour to support it. Afterward, the band split up again, this time for good. Later on, in an interview, Rick Ocasek revealed that his and Benjamin Orr's relationship had been cold for 23 years, mostly due to Ben's jealousy of Rick. Rick died of natural causes in 2017. He was quite a unique-looking guy, tall and lanky with a long face and long black hair. Not the most handsome guy in the band, and he could probably play the role of Frankenstein. But he was married to a supermodel, Paulina Poroskova. So there's that. Rest in peace, Rick and Benjamin. Their music is very good, and most of their songs are jaunty and fun, and some of them are love ballads. When they arrived on the scene, their sound was fresh, new, and captivating. In preparation for this discussion, I listened to their greatest hits album again several times. It is indeed a greatest hits album with no filler songs. No need for that given their catalog of hits. I recommend that you give their greatest hits album a listen, and I think you'll be glad that you did. And now, a word from our sponsor. Well, howdy, y'all. This is Billy Ray Bubba, formerly known as the best damn car salesman in Scratch Ankle, Alabama. I made the mistake of letting my Ellie Mae come down here and record an advertisement while I was in a court proceeding. Well, when she got here on site to the car lot, she just went nuts. She saw the Yugo, and she saw the bottom half of a smart car. And I hope you were not offended by her response. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and start me a new career. I'm going to go back in these here woods and clean up and fix up my moonshine still. So in a few weeks, I'm probably going to be coming back to you, and I'll be known as the best damn moonshine salesman in Scratch Ankle, Alabama. So y'all come on down, and I'll stay in touch, and I'll let you know how it's going. Looking forward to it. Thank you. And we're back. Seems like we may have to find a new sponsor for this show. So, our featured movie for today, let's continue with the theme of cars and talk about the film Baby Driver. This film was written and directed by Edgar Wright, released in 2017. It's action-packed with bank heists, high-speed chases, and a lot of bullets being fired. But it is also a love story. So the protagonist, Baby, played by Ansel Elgort, drives getaway cars for his boss, Doc, played by Kevin Spacey. These two met when Baby stole Doc's car that contained his illicit goods. After finding him, Doc did not punish him, but circumscribed him to drive getaway cars when called upon, which happens 3 times in the film. These cars are great, by the way, Subarus and such, and the driving is quite incredible. So, Baby had lost his parents in a car crash and when she was in the back seat. Baby survived, but suffers from chronic tinnitus and finds catharsis in music. Throughout the movie, he wears earbuds and listens to cassette tapes filled with great music. That brings me to another aspect of this film. It has an awesome soundtrack, and in several of the scenes, the action is synchronized with the song, such as the song Hocus Pocus by the band Focus being played during the final shootout. It's fun to watch. The crew that Doc hires, all nasty little boogers, dislike Baby and they don't trust him. These thugs are great in the movie, played by John Hamm, Isa Gonzalez, John Bernthal, and Jamie Foxx. During the team meetings, when Doc is laying out the heist and getaway plans, Baby has his earbuds in and listening to music. Rat, the goon, played by Jamie Foxx, gets mad and asks if Baby was even paying attention. Doc asks Baby to repeat the plan, and after removing his earbuds, he does, word for word. And the last heist, involving stealing blank traveler's checks from a post office, the crew went in and got the blank traveler's checks, and they came running out to the waiting car. And Rat jumps in the front seat, the front passenger seat. Baby remains still, and Rat starts yelling at him to go, 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 and pulls a gun on him. So Baby puts the car in drive and drives it straight in the back of a work truck, killing Rat with a heavy dose of rebar through his chest. The cops show up. Sorry, I lost my place. The cops show up, and Baby and the remaining crew escape on foot, but they are eventually caught. Ultimately, Baby is arrested and goes into trial, getting a 25-year sentence with parole in 5. Now, I omitted many scenes and details, including the love story aspect, which is key in the plot. Overall, Baby is a good guy with morals, and in a dream state, he leaves prison and is greeted by his girlfriend, and they drive off into the proverbial sunset. If you haven't seen it, please do. I'm sure you'll like it. Which brings us to the word of the day. Synesthesia. Synesthesia. It is a rare neurological disease where the stimulation of one sense involuntarily triggers experiences in another sense. Examples are seeing colors while hearing music, tasting words, and the feeling of touch when smelling certain scents. So that's a pretty cool word, and I wouldn't mind seeing some colors when I'm listening to music, but I don't have this neurological disease. Synesthesia. Question of the day. First, let's go back to the last question of the day. Do the objects around us have color? As it happens, they do not. As shown on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album cover, when white light hits a prism, the result is colors. Colors of the rainbow. Roy G. Biv. Firstly, think of white light as a wavelength, and the various colors within the white light have their own wavelengths. When white light hits objects, they absorb most of the wavelengths and reflect the rest, which is the color that we see. Our eyeballs take in the wavelength of the light, and the brain says, ah, this is the color blue, or green, or black. So if you were to, and you can try this yourself, you sit in a dark room watching TV. The objects around you appear in grayscale, right? No light, no colors. So here's the new question of the day. Why are calico cats almost always female? And I'm talking about 99% of calico cats are female. That's quite a lot. Well, that's it for today, and I surely hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you.